You're listening to the Frame100 podcast, a show by Brickfilmers for Brickfilmers.
And welcome to the Frame100 podcast, the show where the train of thought never fully reaches the station. Today is July 7th, 2020, and this is Season 1, Episode 5 of the show. I'm Chris, known as Gold Brick Productions, here with Jared, aka Dude Brick.
Hello, hello.
Trevor, aka Suited Ninja Nerd Studios.
Hello, I'm here.
Sam, aka Locker74 Productions.
Howdy.
And Marcus, aka Brick Hat Studios.
Where am I?
The Frame100 podcast. You
Do
fool.
you need help?
Were you not listening to the first 20 seconds of audio?
Blink twice if you're being kidnapped. He blinked
shoot.
3 times.
Oh, shoot.
He
Oh,
blinked
gosh.
3
Oh, heck.
times.
Oh,
I
frick.
don't know what that means. I need an adult.
He's like Schrodinger's hostage. He's being kidnapped and not kidnapped at the same time.
He doesn't know where he is.
Why do I say things?
Well, we're
So
off.
where
Anyways,
am I?
how are you guys doing? Except Marcus, we know how he's
Marcus
doing.
is dead.
Doing great.
It's been alright. It's been better.
Yeah,
Bought new lamps.
I just got back from the beach. Ha ha ha. But I'm very tired, so that's
COVID.
fun.
I
I've
feel
gotten
that.
enough. I've gotten
Well,
enough rest from daily living to hop back in the saddle and get back to work. So, yay! I guess.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, y'all sound pretty meh, and I'm excited, so I'm just gonna say this, and Sam's probably gonna cut it. But today's the best day ever. His new Fit for a King album, "Breaking the Mirror" is a great song. "Gotta Fire" slaps so hard. Today is great.
It's being
Sam's
cut.
making the scissors motion.
It's
He's
being
gonna cut
cut.
that note of positivity. Because amongst all this negativity that led before we recorded, and while we're recording, and probably after we record, we need just a ray of sunshine. Let's talk about events. So,
Okay.
summer contest. Most forced segue ever. Let's do this.
Let's
I
do it.
prefer hoverboards.
Okay,
But yeah,
cool. So-
Bricks in Motion, they announced the their annual summer contest, which for this year, begrudgingly and
It is-
disappointingly,
Yeah, and it's
is
it's a theme that Trev is very familiar with.
He's been
I
familiar
said
for a long time.
40%,
Oh my
40%
God. At least a
familiar.
60, but okay.
I'll pull up the page here. The theme of the 2020 BricksInMotion.com summer contest is Fright and Fear.
Ooh. Scary.
The contest will run from July 6th to August 31st. Once again, they have an exciting collection of prizes thanks to our contest sponsors, Dragon Frame, Brick Stuff, and Minifigs.me. For this year's summer contest, they decided to continue with the concept-based theme of Fright and Fear, which is very familiar.
Very
So
familiar,
basically,
actually.
as every year, Bricks in Motion is a big summer contest. It's a lot longer of a runtime, which gives you plenty of time to prep and have fun with it. And Sam, if I recall correctly, you're planning to enter this one.
Yeah, so there's a story behind this. I'm gonna go ahead and tell it. I've been working on Ace Brickman, but I stopped working on it, April? Maybe?
Something like that.
I think so, yeah.
I was getting burnt out, so I decided to take another project. So I got the haunted house, and I decided to do a video based around it. And I kind of looked at the calendar and was like, 2020 is halfway done. I'm going to get back to working on Ace Brickman. I got one shot done of Ace Brickman, and then they announced the contest, and I was like, we're going to finish my monster movie. And I'm working on it right now, and I want to say I've only got like 5 shots left of it, I think. And it's probably some of the best animation I've done. It's
Sure
got a
is,
good
I agree.
It's got a good atmosphere to it. I need to get music. I might talk to X Sims, see if he wants to score it.
I feel like that would really benefit from a custom score.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna say I'm gonna win because I'm not.
You won't.
But I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
you might.
probably. I mean, who are the judges? It's
Judges are Rio Force, Harrison Allen, Penta, and Sebastian Segura.
I've got a
The
good
Dark
chance.
More
I hope I
crew.
pronounced your last name
Yeah.
correct, Sebastian. I
I
never
need to.
remember.
I need to get with Sebastian. I need to find out. Even Harrison, the red. Just highlight the red because there's a part in this animation where something glows red, and I just look back at the footage I took, and you can't tell what it is. You can tell that it's a jewel, but you don't know what color it is. And I think that's important to the story of what color it is. So I might talk to Sebastian, see if he can kind of help me with that.
It's
Because I don't know how to
it's
do
not
it.
hard.
I know,
Just consult the all the Avengers Endgame trailers, where they just do everything in monochrome and then red.
It's selective
Yeah, it's
color.
selective color.
And After Effects.
It's not hard.
Yep.
Well,
I want to say there's a way where you can just do it with masking.
True.
But
Yeah.
I
You
can't
could.
recall
That'd be
what-
the hardest way of doing it, but you can do it easier.
I think
Yeah.
that's actually how Harrison ended up doing it for a lot of
But-
Darkmoor, but
But that's just
Well,
something.
Sebastian mentioned there was an isolation technique he did use. Oh, sorry, Sam, I keep interrupting you.
Oh, you're fine. But I think that would kind of add to it to add some color because it's all in black and white, and I think that kind of goes with like the monster feel I'm going with. But I feel like if you highlight that red, it works. So I got to get with them and find out how exactly to. When this comes out, Sebastian, help me out. You can. I'm
Finger
if you-
guns.
Finger guns.
He can't reply to you. He's on the podcast yet.
Okay, so yeah, I'm
There
entering
goes
that.
hopes and dreams.
I'm entering that. The one thing I'm not looking forward about it is sound design because we talked about it this morning. That's my least favorite thing of animation is the sound design, sound editing. Sorry, and so not looking forward to that. But yeah, kind of.
Exciting.
I'm.
Can't wait.
Let's think about it, Sam, because some of the shots in your film made me think about this. Have you considered maybe recording your own sounds for a good portion of this?
Oh yeah, I do. I bought. Oh, what was it I bought, Jared? It was a Tascam.
Tascam.
Audio
Yeah.
recorder.
I bought one of those for work, like with my own money for work, just because I just kind of wanted it for work, and so yeah, I've been getting
so I
sound
bought it.
effects for Ace. Basically, that's how I roll.
Yeah.
And so I've been using that to get sound effects for Ace Brickman, and I figured my house is like the setting in this animation, so I might be able to just get sound effects of me walking around my house, shutting doors, stuff like that.
Holy time.
So I think that might be an option. There's just some things. Well, you know how it is. Sometimes you just can't get that recording. Yeah, you just can't get that recording. You have to find it online because either it's like a gunshot or it's something that you can't get your hands on.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Well, you're saying we can't get our hands on an Egyptian tomb? Come on. Man.
No, you can't. I wish.
Come on. Are you sure you? I think there's one on eBay, maybe. Or
I mean, you
Mercari
can't get one in
somewhere.
Kansas.
It's a possibility.
Hey,
You
it's
can't get
an
one right.
excuse to head all the way
Probably
over to
because Kansas
Egypt.
sucks.
It's that's what it is. It's an excuse for a vacation.
Yeah, because I will say there is the Museum of Natural. It's like the Museum of Ancient History, something in Wichita.
Oh wait.
And I
never
went
mind.
there one-
I thought we were talking about Night at the
No,
Museum.
I went- No. So I went there one time to like see if I can actually get like a sound effect from them. It was like in high school, and I had my iPhone with me,
Wait,
and I was like,
what sound effect?
I don't even remember. Like that was
Wait,
that was 7 years
where's
ago.
the story going
What
then?
sound
don't
effect do
remember.
you need from a museum?
what
I don't
say?
know.
You went into
But
the
I just
story,
remember-
and I was expecting for you to tell us what sound effect it was.
No,
I thought
no.
it was going to be something like
I don't remember-
absolutely
no.
like.
For the life of me, I cannot remember what the sound effect was. But I remember I asked the tour guide, I was like, I need to get a sound recording for a video I'm working on. Is there any chance? And I just remember it was like something that was old. And I mean old. It was like, it was when I
You
was
mean
still
everything
doing
in there?
it was like when I was doing my World War II action figure stuff. And it might have been like a Colt pistol cocking or something like that. And I was like, I know they had one. I was like, is there any chance I could borrow one? And the lady goes, no. I was like, are you sure? I'll pay for it. And she just goes, you want to rent this? I was like, yes. She's like, okay, let me go talk to the manager. She came back and she's like, that'll be $20,000. I was like, nope, I could get that online, so I left. And
I feel like she just made up that number just to scare you off.
I was a freshman in high school. I was deathly scared of like asking anybody.
Okay.
Yeah,
I just
she
took
took advantage of
I'd
that.
like to imagine that in reality, Sam was actually showing up, and they have like a little, area where it's like all the little like models of, all these like ancient creatures and stuff. And so Sam's jolly little high schooler self showed up to that museum thinking, I wonder if I can get a recording of that woolly mammoth that's in that display case over there. And then proceeds to actually ask if he can get a recording of what is literally a stuffed model of a long since dead creature.
Hey, I could tell you what a mammoth sounds like, all right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing that a giraffe makes.
I thought you were just gonna say it sounds like Ray Romano. I thought you were gonna just say it sounds like Ray Romano. You're welcome. Ice Age, baby. Good movie.
Is it?
Chris is like
This
so
conversation
distraught.
happened.
I don't. It's the same thing that the fox says.
Oh God.
Ring ding ding ding.
What
No.
does he say?
Ring ding ding ding.
Sam,
the fox
I'm gonna drive over to
I
where
missed
you are.
2013
And
so badly. That was 2013, right? I missed 2013.
anyways, cancel Locker 74. Hashtag it in the
He's an
comments.
idiot.
Oh, you
That's
guys want me
why.
to say You guys want me to say a hot topic that I'm sure somebody in this chat is going to be very upset with?
Say it. I
Oh,
dare you.
never
to.
mind. I know what you're gonna say. Go for it.
I tried to rewatch the Spider-Verse. Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh yes.
Still not a fan.
I'm ready to grill you. I'm ready to tell you you're wrong. You're so wrong, dude.
I don't think it's here's my thing. I don't think it's a bad movie.
It's
I
bad.
just didn't vibe with it.
That's
No, it's
taken
not a
me
bad
on
movie.
a fundamental level.
It's
and
not a bad
I don't
movie.
think I'll ever be able to recover fully from it. I
It's
gave you the
not-
benefit of the doubt, and I even put everything on the line for when I was gonna watch Blade Runner, and I love Blade Runner. I thought it was a phenomenal film, but when I asked you to watch Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse from Sony Pictures Animation, the critically acclaimed and Oscar-winning film of 2018, or Oscar-winning animated film of 2018, he says, even though it's...
Sam, he
When
put,
did you get a
he put everything
sponsorship?
on the line for you.
I put
Everything on the
everything
line.
on the line. for
Everything
you.
on the line.
I put everything on the line. You just gave up on me.
Well, Trev, I got something to tell you. Sometimes people disappoint you, and you need to get over it.
Dude, I know. I
Sometimes they
know
promise
this.
a horror
I've
film and
known
never
you
deliver.
for multiple years now. You've also known me
Yeah,
for multiple
sometimes
years
people
now
just
too.
promise a
So
horror
it's,
film
It's a
and they
it's
never
a,
deliver.
It's a lose-lose
Wait.
situation. I was about to say
Hang on,
win-win,
hang
but
on.
I was like, that's not right.
How long?
Yeah, need
I
to
just
go in.
realized this. How long have we all known each other?
That's actually a really good
I'm-
question.
Because
Well-
it feels like I've known you guys for like 10 years, and I think it's only been like 3 years for me.
Well, yeah, we talk to each
2?
other all the time. That's probably why.
Yeah, I know.
It definitely feels longer than it's
Maybe
actually
2.
been.
That's true.
Because
yes.
how many has it been for the two of us,
Um,
Chris? Because the two of us have known each other the longest, I believe, out of the 5 of us.
I think
Yeah.
so. I'm looking it up.
I want to
right
say we've known each
now.
other for
I know-
3 years.
No, I think I met Chris first.
Did you meet Chris first?
Because I was on the
That's
Frame100
right.
podcast
Yeah, you two did
before
know each
you
other
were.
before,
It
and
went-
then I got
it went
added
from-
in.
Chris to me to you, and then to
And then to Marcus,
Marcus
technically,
or Sam?
because I knew Marcus from Brick Fair 2 years ago. Or, yeah,
Was that
2
2
years
years
ago.
ago?
Yeah, because it wasn't last year, it was the year before. That was where I met you. And then Sam
Wow,
Sam
that
was,
was a while.
I forget if we met Sam that January. It was
So-
that January, so actually, yeah.
What?
Or was it?
So I remember
Oh, God, I can't remember.
I met all of y'all. Just so I can
Southern
remember, I
drawl.
met all of y'all. When I released my Ace Brickman trailer, that's when Austin still did Frame100. They did the live event.
Mhm.
You guys reviewed Ace Brickman,
I did.
and then
It's true.
yeah, and then I think Jared was the first one I met because he followed me on Twitter. We DM'd
Yep.
back and forth about Supernatural for like 2 days.
That's where it all
And
started.
then- No, and then I and then we joined. I think I joined crafting table. I think Jared invited me, and then
We knew you before that, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I know. Like,
We knew.
I didn't know you two.
When was crafting table? Was that 2018?
That was
you didn't meet
2018.
Sam because I voice acted for Ace Brickman 1.
That's right.
He did.
Okay,
I
so
true.
look up the
I knew Chris,
trailer.
but I
But
don't
we
think
both assumed that was just a one-off, and we never really hung out much after that.
I don't think I remember. Trev, I don't remember when I'm. This sounds bad, but like, I don't really remember how we met. I know we met through Frame100, but I don't know if it was through crafting table or if it was before that. I can't remember. It was.
Well, okay, so it would have been last January was when
Yeah.
you.
Well, that's when I joined Frame100. But
That's when you
we
joined
knew-
Frame100.
We knew each
which
other.
I was around.
We knew
so
each other
yeah, it was last
Yeah.
January. That was when we were acquainted to Sam, and then I was the one who knew Marcus in 2018, August 2018, because of Brick Fair. So
No,
I mean, we met like, well, we didn't meet, but like we've known each other for like a bit before.
we did know each other a bit
Yeah.
before that, yeah. And I'm trying to remember how, like, what that connection was. I can't even remember myself. Because wasn't it, or was it just through Frame100? I think it was actually. I think Austin said something about, hey, you know, this guy lives kind of like he lives in that same area, and I was like, oh, okay, there we go. Yeah, that's where it clicked. Okay, so
Okay. Trev, I just
That makes
remembered where
sense.
it wasn't through Frame100 we officially met. It was crafting table.
Yeah, crafting table was fall of 2018.
Yeah.
oh,
Because.
And then
but
Sam
that
joined
was
January.
that would have been.
Yeah.
Wait, okay.
Because
So when
we
did
started,
you join
we started
Frame100 though?
January, but we started
What year?
crafting table.
What year?
in that
January? What
November.
year?
Last year.
So
Last year.
2019.
No. Yeah,
Correct.
2018.
2018. Yeah. So
So-
then we would have known each other from that before crafting table because crafting
Yeah.
table
No,
No.
January
2019.
2019.
Okay.
18.
So then yes,
Yeah.
you're right. We would have known each
Because I
other from
remember-
crafting table first. Again though, that
Yeah,
throws me
because-
off because I like, you know, I keep thinking that like right after you released the Ace Brickman trailer, that was when like we met you and we brought you on. Okay, so that's where I was missing a beat there.
Like it. I remember because I joined. I think it was an audio. Like it was a. I think it was an audio chat, voice chat. We were going through all the projects for crafting table,
Mhm.
and Chris. The first thing Chris said, I remember, was, "Sam, I don't know if you know me, but I'm Chris. I'm with Gold Brick Productions. Really excited to have you on board." And he said some other stuff. And I was like, okay, Chris is pretty cool. And then Trevor like hopped on and was like, "Sup, nerds?" I was like,
I
"Oh,
remember,
okay."
oh god,
This is
I
like-
remember like for weeks I had talked to Austin and I was like, dude, can I come on the cast? And it was just a matter of me not being available most of that time. And then I made this huge thing about like, oh my god, my birthday is the same weekend as the week that I'm going to be able to come on. It's going to be so cool. Oh my god, I'm so excited. And then they kept me for some reason, which is, I still can't figure out why. To this day,
I can't
You
even.
can't either.
exactly, and so like yeah, stuff just snowballed from there. But yeah,
So I remember I joined. Right, I joined because I was a guest first,
yep,
and then
same here.
I was like, I was at work. I think I had just graduated college, and I just graduated college. And then all of a sudden, I got a message from Jared. It was like, "Hey, do you want to be a host for Frame100?" And I was like, yeah.
Sure.
And then within 20 minutes, like with not even 20 minutes later, I was in a chat with all you guys, and I felt super intimidated. I was like, everybody's just, talking at each other, making jokes, and I'm sitting in the corner just like, hey, yeah.
How do you think I felt when I
And-
first joined?
And now I look back at it, and I'm like one of the most vocal person on the chat, just spitting jokes, and
Well, Sam, that's what alcohol does to you, my friend.
that is true.
This just in: Sam Futhy is
Oh
always
my
drunk,
goodness.
even when he's not.
I'm not. I just like.
Sam is
Christ.
sober.
Sam's sober. I'm kidding, dude. Okay,
I'm
I-
always.
I do
like,
think the funny thing was like Sam walks into all this thinking, yeah, it's pretty professional and chill, and then we just completely spiraled into
oh,
chaos
yeah,
over
it's
time.
just- it's
it's
gone.
like that. It's like the GIF from Community. He walks in with a pizza, and then everything's on fire.
Donald Glover, yes.
Evidence A: Brick Fair 2019 car rides.
It's Friday.
Gotta get down
Oh
on
my gosh.
Friday. Okay,
We're gonna
before we get copyrighted, so
Yeah.
thinking about like beginnings like this, it's making me think. So in terms of like Lego, where were all of us with like Lego when we started out? Like, how did we first get into it? Because I don't think this is something we've
Into Lego?
Yeah, I don't think this is something we've ever
Into-
talked
Yeah.
about before. Like, what was the first ever set that you
I think
got?
we talked about like Brickfilming.
or like series that kind of got you into Lego, or like, you know, you started like looking at something specific and that was like, oh, that's
Yeah.
kind of cool. I might pick some of that, you know, plastic brick product up.
We have talked about this before, but I think on our individual episodes, because I think that was originally one of our first questions to our guests.
Yeah.
Were like, what
And
got you into
we-
Lego? What got you into
yeah.
Brickfilming? And we all gave our individual answers when our individual episodes
Mhm.
came out.
So,
For me personally, I've said this many times, but the first set I ever bought with my own money, my own hard-earned 6-year-old money, was Lego Star Wars Jabba's Prize or something. It had Han Solo and Carbonite and that
Oh wow,
Boba
yeah.
Fett in it, and that Gamorrean guard. And then after that, I went downhill.
Downhill.
And that's where I am today.
I remember what got me into it was, I really don't remember, but I remember my grandparents always had Lego at their house all the time.
hmm
And it got to the point where they would buy me sets for no reason. And my grandpa loved building them with me. He loved it. And so every time like I see an older set, like the studio sets, or my grandparents had like the original pirate sets from like the late 1990s, mid 1990s, something like that.
Yeah,
And it-
probably the late 80s, early 90s, I would guess.
Yeah, but they had that, and I remember like it was all torn apart because I'm the youngest. But every time I see like a set I remember building with my grandpa, I feel nostalgic. So I think I kind of incorporate my love for Lego with my grandparents. I guess that's my answer.
Aw.
Very sappy.
That's very wholesome.
Pulling
I
the
like
heartstrings over
it.
here,
I like
Sam.
it, Sam. It's
Yeah,
very
I don't-
wholesome.
Ah, that's quite nice.
I still don't remember my first set I bought though with my own money. The first set I remember buying though, not the one my first one was the Boba Fett Slave 1 that I have in my living room. I don't know if I think it's like the 2008 version, maybe 2007, but yeah, I think that's the first one I remember buying with my own money, and it's like I said, it's still sitting in my living room on display because I love it so much. So I think that might be my first set. So yeah,
Neat.
I talked a lot.
So
So
good.
Chris, why don't you stop me from making a fool of myself?
No, that's quite fair. I actually think that's quite sweet that Lego kind of reminds you of your grandparents that way.
Cute.
But so yeah, I can't remember the first Lego set I got or the first Lego set I bought because I pretty much grew up with Lego. Like my parents, and it's just a curse of being the firstborn child.
I feel
They
you.
were really strict about like anything I watched or read
Yeah.
or whatever. Lego they were pretty okay with. Bionicle was on the fence, of course. Like that was too weird for them. And Star Wars was just a no-go because apparently little Chris couldn't handle space wizards or something. I remember the one time where I really seriously gunned for a Lego set was one of the first Dino Attack ones. It was like the big Hummer Jeep. And I saw it in the catalog. I'm like, Mom, I gotta get this. And she's like, you have money? I'm like, no. My school had like this reading program thing. And my mom was feeling kind of generous. She's like, hey, what if you did a reading program thing? But instead of like that, goofy ticket to some, reading book fair or something, what if the prize at the end is that big Dino Attack Firehammer truck? Like, now, Mother, we have got ourselves a deal here. So I didn't say that because I was like 7 years old. So I remember reading the entire summer just nonstop. I read everything I could get my hands on, and I got that thing, and it was enormous, and it was fantastic.
Did you
I
read?
think that's
the
kind
Harry
of really
Potter
the
books?
first time. I didn't actually, because that was one of the things my parents wouldn't let me read or watch.
The movies are better anyway.
And see, that's kind of where it got crazy though, because my parents were just like, yeah, we don't really let our kids watch or read a lot of stuff, nothing really, too violent or whatnot. And by the time I got all the Dino Attack sets just gradually over time, my brother would just stage the most violent battles possible. Like, we were tearing minifigures in half and slamming helicopters into each other. Like, it more resembled, like, Predator or Full Metal Jacket than it did, say, like, Winnie the Pooh that I watched as a kid, or, like, Stanley. You guys remember Stanley?
Yes, Stanley.
He's got the
my
book with the
god,
animals.
yeah.
There we go.
That used to be my jam. Well, actually,
Ta-
I didn't watch the show. I had like a couple books and like computer games that went along with it. So yeah.
Same one.
I think we've talked about this
Yep.
before.
One and the same. Yeah. Like, point being, like, that was the kind of stuff that my parents let me read and watch. Like, yeah, Chris is just a pretty calm kid. When you're out in the basement, my brother and I just be like, die, T-Rex, die, ah,
Right,
It's
right.
kinda like-
Of course.
Probably my earliest memory with Lego, because I wanted that Hummer so badly. And by the time we were done, we had this whole fleet of, like, military vehicles shooting down mutant dinosaurs. It was its own particular sort of beauty,
Mm-hmm. Marcus, your turn.
Oh,
I'm gonna say mine for last, just for some stupid reason.
Okay. I'm trying to remember the first set I ever got. Like, not with my own money, but the first set I ever got. It's like either a Star Wars set, because like I remember getting the Obi-Wan minifigure, and then after that it was like I think like one of the Spider-Man sets. It was
Ooh.
the one with the wrestling minifigure.
Yes.
Spider-Man version.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I have that one. But like when I got really into like actual Lego, it was like around the time when Revenge of the Sith came out. And like for my birthday, I don't know how old I was in like 2005, or was it 2005 when Revenge of the Sith came out? I think so, right?
So,
What?
I think Jared's looking it up.
Revenge of the Sith?
Yeah.
2005, yes.
He just knows.
Yeah, so I was like 8 years old. And so my parents got me like a bunch of those sets. And then my brother got the clone turbo tank.
Lucky. Lucky.
And he could never build it, and I tried building it, and I failed. And now it's like somewhere in like my bin of assorted Lego bricks.
Huh.
Ouch.
And then I stopped like building Lego for a couple of years after that, and then I got really into video games, Legend of Zelda specifically.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, yo, I like these Lego castle themes, and I got really, really into it. And I think that was maybe the first time I would use my money to buy those sets. It was like the castle and then the medieval market town.
Ooh. Underrated sets.
Yeah,
I think
love
that was the
set.
Kingdoms wave, if I recall correctly. Like, they sort of rebranded Castle, I don't know why, right around the time that Market Village came out.
Oh yeah, the Market Village. That's
Or, no, wait, that was the rebooted Castle.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm confusing them.
No worries. It's yeah. So and then that's basically when I got into Brickfilming and all that.
huh. There you go.
Nice.
So thinking about it on my end, I've been trying to look it up, and I can't find it. It's very weird. But I remember it was for I want to say I think it was when I was turning 8. So that would have been in 2000. That would have been in 2008. For my birthday, my aunt had sent me one of the 6+ sets, the ones that came with like the really weird Jack Stone esque like minifigures,
6+.
if you want to call them minifigures. But it came with like the 6+ figures. And it was like a police officer and like a police car set. I still actually have the figure. It just kind of sits in the deepest, darkest depths of my little sorting area.
The deep
because
abyss.
I never use it. But and then I think that same year I had a birthday party, like, a couple days after my birthday, and I had a friend get me like one of the or actually a neighbor, get me one of the classic brick boxes. So it was like this weird like little tub that was like this red tub where the top you could take it off the thing and open it, and it had like studs on top of it. So yeah, that was like some of the first sets I ever got. And then thinking about like the first one I ever bought with my own money. This probably isn't the first one I ever bought with my own money, but it was one of the proudest sets I was able to say I could buy, and that was the Lego City House from 2010. It's this very
And we saw it one at
yeah
Brickfilming.
Yeah, wasn't that where you got
That's the
the
one.
bodies for, what was it, Alex and Percy?
yeah. Well, that's where I actually got the torso for Percy. So it shares that extra little long-lasting impact in terms of buying that set. But I remember, I think it was like $60. I want to say it was like $50 to $60 at the time. And for some reason, like that was just such a big like milestone for me to have raised that much money at the age of like 10 years old. So yeah.
And now you're
Now
poor.
I'm poor, haha. But
Welcome
actually,
to adulthood.
Yep. Yeah. Well,
It'd be like that
I
sometimes.
definitely don't. Well, it's funny because I feel like I buy a lot more Lego now than I did back then, and that's just because of the fact that I.
Oh,
have
I
it.
do.
So. Because yeah,
I play a
my
lot
parents
more than I
my
did
parents
then.
were they never got me Lego, like unless it was for birthdays or Christmas or like any other holidays. Like everything Lego wise that I've gotten, it's either been a birthday gift, a Christmas gift, an Easter gift if I even would get anything from Easter, or like any other holidays, or it was something I bought myself. And probably 90% of it is stuff I bought myself. So I can.
I don't get
Are
Lego
Easter
gifts anymore.
even a thing?
What was that?
Not anymore. Not to me.
Are Easter gifts even a thing?
I mean,
Yes.
No.
kinda. You
For
just
some
get
people,
chocolate,
yeah.
really. You just get
Yeah.
chocolates
Like,
and
that doesn't make
candies.
sense.
Chocolate. God.
I don't even get chocolate.
I guess it's technically like a gift, but I was thinking, just like general festivities.
I mean,
Hey, Chris.
like at
the gift
Thanksgiving,
that-
you get like turkey or pie, but you wouldn't necessarily call it like a
well,
traditional.
the
gift.
tradition in our.
the gift that we get is our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Yes,
my friend.
sir.
That is true. Yes.
What a lad. The
That is
That's not-
theologically
the
sound.
What a
the
lad.
tradition we have
That
in our
man.
household.
Big old JC over there, man.
The tradition we have in
Give
our
it
household
done.
is to get Starburst jelly beans every year now. Like we used
You
to do
heathen.
like the whole like
yes.
getting Easter baskets, and like you wake up every morning and you search around the house for them and like try to figure out where your basket's at. But like we don't do it anymore. But like now it's Starburst jelly beans now. That's all it is. The best candy to ever
We
exist.
don't-
Don't at me.
We don't
Are
really.
they- I've never had
It's
them.
fantastic.
The
We don't
most
really get
disappointing
gifts
thing about
anymore.
them is that they're seasonal. So
We don't really.
Unfortunately, you reach that point in adulthood, and like I gotta be careful saying this because it was they were very nice at doing it, but like these days, Christmas gifts usually consist of clothes.
That is
Yeah,
true.
I'm like, you
nothing-
know what? I
nothing
appreciate
better.
it. Like I got this really
Yeah.
sick Wage War T-shirt that was
Better
really
than
cool.
nothing.
But I remember opening it, putting it on, going, "Oh, I'm an adult now." Shoot.
Yeah. Say,
You know, it's hilarious because like when I was a kid, I never appreciate like those socks, underwears, and like t-shirts as gifts. But now when I'm like an adult, I'm like, I have nothing to wear, and then they give me socks and stuff. I'm like, I have new
Thank you.
clothes.
I feel
Y'all
that
want to
so
hear a funny
hard.
story?
Yes.
So when I was like, I'm gonna say I was like 11 or 12. I have a Japanese grandmother, who is not very, well, used to be not very aware. So one Christmas, I was like 11 or 12. One Christmas, she got me a Lego set. I think it was Power Miners.
Ooh.
It was dope. But the second gift that I got was a book on how to read clocks. And yeah, and then
How many different ways can one read a clock, though? Like, was it more of a book or like a short pamphlet?
it was a book, like a 5-year-old, children's book on how to read a clock. And I sat
So
there
how
You
you
looking
said you
at
were
it.
11 at the time?
Yes. And I was like, what is this? And while I look over to my brother, he got this great Game Boy Advance, Star Wars Episode 2 game,
Oh.
and I get a book on how to tell time. And dude,
We know who the favorite child was now.
my emotions went skyrocketed. I went to my room and I bawled because I was like, no one loves me anymore.
Question is, can you read a clock though?
Yeah, it's 4:20, right? Plays it.
All day,
How
every
many
day,
seconds?
baby.
I know what I'm getting you for Christmas now.
Oh god, I'm gonna expect like a book on my.
I'm just gonna buy. I'm gonna buy you like the Filthy Frank clock. The it's time to stop clock, and
Aw.
we could just have you remake
It's
that.
time. Just...
Imagine
Please
like
do.
a children's clock reading book themed around that Filthy Frank sketch.
Yeah, that'll
That'd
go
be
over
so
well.
great.
It's time to stop.
Well, I mean, there have been
Mommy, time to stop.
there have been
what?
children's books made off of much worse material. I do know that.
It's
is
hammer
true.
time.
That is true.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned like grandparents and stuff because like I know like my grandmother she will give me just the most random stuff. Like I remember that just recently like I remember telling her like, you know, hey, I'm going to school for like film and animation, and for some reason going into animation constitutes that I am absolutely in love with Mickey Mouse because, you know, she's old, she's
Well, you
older,
kinda
like, you
are.
know, that's what she grew up on. That was the only animation that existed back in the day. It was, you know, everything from Disney, for the most part. Disney and like the Fleischer Brothers.
Oh, my grandpa's an Andy
Um,
Griffith person.
Who isn't?
Yeah.
That is true. Andy Griffith is boss.
But so like I remember like she ended up sending me like Mickey Mouse socks and like a nightlight with Mickey Mouse on it, and it of course came with a Mickey and Minnie card. So, you know, that's fun.
Man, you gotta rock those socks,
Well,
dude.
I
Custom
would.
socks. are the
Going
best.
back to like the getting the clothes thing for gifts and stuff, I feel like 9 times out of 10, just because I don't like the stuff, like for Christmas gifts in particular, if there's anything that like me and my siblings end up getting that we don't want or like doesn't fit us, my parents have all like the return receipts on a lot of that stuff, so they just, you know, we go to Target the next day on December 26th, and we just return all that stuff and buy
You
other things instead.
ungrateful douche.
I am. A lot of it is that the stuff just doesn't fit. That's usually the biggest issue. Is I end up getting stuff that's either too big or too small,
Yeah, sure.
or it's not the right
I'm gonna
color.
run with a quick
It's not the right color.
I'm gonna run with a quick ungratitude story because I just looked it up and the company was acquired by another company, so they technically no longer exist. So I can get mad at them now.
Okay.
Okay. So my last year of college, I got to get a real job, right? Like my mom says, you can't just live in our basement. You got to get a real job. I said, Mother, I must protest, but she wouldn't have any of it. So I applied for a couple different jobs, and one of them was with a company called I Am Flash Technologies. And I was kind of excited. Like I thought, hey, you know, it'd be kind of fun getting to, you know, semiconductors and whatnot. It'd be pretty sick, pretty dope. So I go to the job fair, you know, wearing my suit. I got my resume, and you know, I'm talking to people. I go to the I Am Flash booth. And, you know, they got a whole bunch of swag there, and a couple people talk about how great their company is. And I heard that they were pretty hard to get an interview with. And I figured, okay, you know, I'll give it a shot. I'll do my best. So I started talking with the guy, and, you know, we're chatting. I tell him a little bit about my experience, hand him my resume. He looks it over. He's pretty impressed. He's like, what's going on here? He says, yeah, you know, we'll call you and we'll set up an interview. Yes, this is awesome. And, you know, we're chatting a little bit more, and, you know, he says, oh, yeah, feel free to take some, you know, swag from the table here. And, you know, I got like a couple little pamphlets and stuff, and there was a pair of socks that had these like semiconductor like circuit boards printed on them. So these green socks with the circuit board pattern. It says I Am Flash on the side. And I'm like, oh yeah, can I grab one? He's like, yeah, sure. And he hands me this pair of socks. And, you know, at this point, I'm on cloud 9. I got an interview with these guys. My life is going in a direction. I can finally make my mom proud. And I got semiconductor socks. And so I go home and I wait. I don't get a call. I'm like, okay, well, they're probably going to call me tomorrow. They'll call tomorrow. The weeks go by, no call. In the end, the socks remind me of the day that I Am Flash promised me the world and never called me for that interview. And
I'm
so
glad
now
they
I'm like,
got bought out.
yeah, I'm glad they got bought out. They got bought out by Micron now, so apparently they're Micron's problem now.
If they would have
But
hired
at least Micron
you,
had the
they'd still be
guts to
alive.
tell me that they weren't hiring me. Like, Micron just straight up said, yeah, sorry, we're not hiring you. I'm like, hey, that's cool, fam. You tell I Am Flash that I still have their socks?
You know, you
It
could
was-
have
it was
saved
a
the
low
company.
This is
point.
why Chris needs. This is why Chris needs Doom. He just holds that much of a grudge that he has to like colloquially, you know, take what is the
Oh, big word.
what is the entity that is I Am Flash and like, you know, embed it into the demons that he slays, and that's his way of coping.
literally, when Chris got those socks, he was like, "Master have given Dobby socks. Dobby is free."
It's the equivalent of Lucius Fox. Was not Lucius Fox. It's Lucius Malfoy being like, "Here's a sock, Dobby."
Not
Whatever his name is.
Lucius Fox.
Lucius
Morgan
Fox.
Freeman.
That's it.
Draco Malfoy.
Master Wayne.
Lucius Malfoy being like, "Here you go, Dobby. Here's a sock." Ah, sweet. Ah, I'm just kidding. Get back. Go do the dishes.
Yo, that's a great brick film idea right there.
I'm just taking it back, bro. Just a prank, bro.
Can you just picture him just going and be like, "Here you go, Dobby. Happy birthday." I got a sock.
I'm just kidding. It's just a prank, bro. I'm taking that back.
Just give it here.
I'm not giving you crap,
Go
man.
wash the dishes, you filthy elf.
You filthy. Dang.
Oh my goodness.
Speaking of socks,
Dude.
I actually have nowhere to go with that.
I can't believe we're having a discussion about. You know what? Hang on, one more quick sock story. When I went to the NG12 launch, which was awesome, what was one of the giveaways?
Socks.
Space socks.
It's like space ice cream, but
Like,
socks.
patterned socks are the best. Like, when I have to wear
Space
a suit
socks.
for whatever reason, and I need black socks, I got these black socks with Darth Vader on them.
Hey.
What does my life come to that
My
I
man.
have all these socks? Oh my goodness.
See, I'm
Darth
Hey,
Vader.
nothing wrong with a lot of
in the
socks.
weird.
It all started with I Am Flash, and now here I am, a wretch and a skeleton of my former
Wait.
self.
Did you say I am Flash? I thought we were all the Flash.
Okay.
We're the Flash,
We're all the
Iris.
fastest man alive.
Oh my
like,
goodness.
with,
My name is Barry
it's
Allen.
weird because when it comes to socks,
And Iris, me, Iris, and everybody at Star Labs is the Flash. No, you're not. Can you run super speed? Didn't think so, Iris.
There
So
was,
if I was-
Sit
If I was
your
Barry,
So-
I'd be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I could outrun all of you right now."
someone, one of my friends on Facebook posted something about Stargirl getting bought by CW, and I commented underneath. I said, "Get ready for 26 plus characters, a 27 episode arc that could last 10 episodes, and a love triangle."
Ooh.
I like that I'm laughing
Yeah,
at
that's-
that.
Did
and
you just
I'm
have, like, a
seeing
video
CW
board or
shows.
something?
Dude, even Supernatural is
watch-
You know-
following. Supernatural is following that trend, and I am not a fan.
I feel like that's
Even though
kind of just
Supernatural
what
Flash
all
season one.
shows.
Arrow season 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
I don't
Season
know.
3 was where it got bad.
Yeah, that's where I stopped. So
I call
I'll just
season
say
3
1 and 2.
Yeah.
Like-
My nickname for season 3 is Tananda Parbat and back, because it feels like every single episode they're taking a flight from the city to the mysterious assassin tomb or whatever, and are
Yeah.
constantly going, like, pick a location and stay there for a bit.
I prefer.
It seems that with most CW shows, they're like really good in the first couple seasons, and it's like, all
Yeah.
right, season 3, what can we F up now?
All right,
It's
I will
like
say
everything.
We are the Green Arrow.
I will defend seasons 1 through 5 of Supernatural, and then 7 through I think it's 12 of Supernatural. 6 didn't happen. Season 6 didn't happen because that was the most boring season where Sam loses his soul, spoiler alert, and then it's just like, I don't care about these characters.
Wait, where did you lose your soul?
Exactly.
Got him.
Like around
That's a good
season
one.
6, Chris, weren't you listening?
When he joined Frame100, duh.
Yeah. But dude, season 4 or 5 of Supernatural are just the best, and I won't get on that tangent, but dude, it's just
Honestly, I can only think of 2 shows where it got better with each season. The 2 shows being Avatar: The Last Airbender, which is amazing, go watch it, and Psych.
there you
Like,
go.
I just got-
Proud
I
of
got
you.
to
haven't
the
seen
episode.
either.
I'm not going to throw down spoilers yet, but like the thing that I was pretty sure was going to happen at some point happened a whole lot sooner than I thought. And I was thinking this was just going to be like one of those one-off funny episodes, and at the end I'm going, "Oh no!" And right after I finished that episode, like, you know, I had to go to bed and get to lab the next day, so I'm sitting in bed thinking,
Yeah. What season are
Everything
you
has
on
changed.
in Psych?
I want to say I'm at the end of season 7.
Ooh.
Yep.
Getting good.
I can say this without spoiling this part. It's
Better not
Lassiter's
spoil.
wedding.
Oh,
It's
dude,
like at the very
that's a
end
great episode.
Great
Episodes.
episode. See, what's funny
It's
about
so
Psych is
good.
that I can't quote a single one of Sean's lines, but if I heard one of those lines, I would know it was Sean and nobody else.
Yeah.
Like something just
I'm
about the
on-
writing, it's just so off the wall.
In my rewatch, I'm like middle of season 4, and it's so good.
I will.
You can't
okay.
beat it.
Fantastic
I-
show.
What did you think? Since we're on this topic, what did you think of the Yin trilogy, the Yin and Yang trilogy?
Really good. Like
Dude,
the first one felt like a really intense one-off. The second one, it felt a little open-ended. I wasn't sure where they were going. The third one, like I know they're all gonna be okay because it's a comedy show, but for a brief moment, I was thinking, oh, this is not gonna go well at all. Like I think that's probably that is easily one of the highlights from the show. It's really good.
Like for a
Agreed.
show that it's the one time I've actually seen a show that's like main thing is comedy, I think, and then it turns out
I
to be
think.
really good. I'm not like Psych for me is a comedy, but
It is. No, it has a lot of heart to it.
it's
Yeah.
it's weird. It's the first time I've ever seen a show that's mainly a comedy do suspense and kind of horror in a way really well.
It tackles every
Because
genre.
you haven't seen Community yet.
specifically.
Because Community does the same thing.
It's better than
Community.
It's better than
Community
Community.
does-
It's
It is
way
100% better than
Community does all the different genres though, so like because they're it's all like spoofs,
So does Psych.
so- Okay.
So
I've been
here's the
meaning to
thing.
watch it for a while.
Psych-
It's just a matter of I haven't bothered to get around to it. I have
Is it
so
on
many
Netflix?
shows I'm trying to get
No.
through.
Amazon.
Man, it's ridiculous.
But
Here's the
see,
th-
I don't
this
have
is why
Amazon
Trev
Prime.
won't watch it because then he has to borrow my Amazon login.
Yeah, and you're
Again.
irritating to deal with, so that's why I don't want to use it.
Get your own Amazon.
I do have my
You're
own
gonna spend
Amazon.
$400
I do
on
have my
Jogger
own
City
Amazon. If I don't
today.
have to, if it's just free with Prime, I'll watch it. Like if
It
yeah,
is.
okay, so I can watch it on my own.
This
I don't need
man-
your stupid Amazon code. Shut your mouth, loser.
This man. No,
Yeah,
no,
and you
no.
don't need his Disney Plus login either.
I was
That's
gonna
true.
say I gotta put this out there because I gotta cancel Trev.
Cancel me.
This man uses my Disney Plus
I
login,
do.
and then
I
on
have no
our
shame.
on our chat, he bashes Disney Plus and says it's a waste of money. And I was like,
I don't think I ever said it
"You're
was a
not
waste
even
of
paying
money.
for it."
I don't think I ever.
Yes,
I don't think
you
I ever
did.
said it was a waste of money because that wouldn't make sense because I'm not spending my
Pretty
own
sure you did
money.
once.
I think
I
I
have
think
two
I
witnesses
think the
here.
way I said it was I thought it was well.
That's a great sentence. I think the way I said it.
I think the way I said it.
No.
No, like here's where I stand with streaming services. I think streaming services. I hate that they're the way of the future. Like they're incredibly convenient. I think Netflix, Netflix was very ahead of its time. Like when it started with like its DVD services and everything. But like streaming services are so mainstream now that everybody's doing it. All the stuff that Netflix originally did have is all getting parted out to all these, different streaming services. And so you've got to buy like all these, these multiple things that are all not single purchase things that you have to keep cumulatively paying for and getting your money ripped from you just to watch all this stuff. So
You can still buy DVDs though if you really care.
Very
That's
true.
what I keep telling the Ninjago.
But a lot of stuff
community.
isn't
They keep complaining Cartoon
available.
Network never plays Ninjago. Like, buy the DVDs.
mm-hmm.
Buy
Sure,
them
they're
off
cheap,
of
too.
iTunes or Amazon or.
I've gotten
wherever.
a lot of the
Like,
Ninjago DVDs just from the library,
Don't
just
that
renting
work?
them out of the library.
Same here.
So,
Not only do I rent them,
You still
I
go to the
straight up
library?
rent
not
them
anymore,
on my
actually.
computer. Like none of us have, considering the current time of day. Like
I
I've gotten
only go
4
to my
seasons
college
of
campus library
Ninjago,
system.
and I've ripped the DVDs and got all the episodes on my computer.
Chris
There
is
you
a
go.
scammer.
Holy crap,
I
Chris
said
is
it
a
out
scammer. Well, he's not a
he
scammer.
gave
Like,
us-
okay,
criminal.
this is my version of using the Lego instructions to
I was gonna
manipulate the
say,
Shop
and
and Home
he
website.
shames
We have
us
all
for
committed
using
crimes.
the-
Isn't that
It's
like
still
an
less of a
actual,
crime because I'm not
crime?
redistributing
And you still
them.
won't
I'm just
send me
having
the
them on my
Lossless
desktop.
Tron soundtrack either. This man is a criminal. Can't
It's a
cancel
huge
Chris.
file. It's freaking lossless, Trev. It's way bigger than a
Alright,
.wav
okay.
or a
Okay,
.mp3.
okay,
We
You
all-
audioless
we
hack.
gotta. We're up here. We're up here at a
We-
10. We gotta bring that back down to a 2. All right. We're gonna.
we need
Alright,
to just...
this is the first
Marcus
time I've
has
seen
a question.
Chris
Now,
has gotten angry.
Marcus, I've never seen Chris angry, so this is a fun side. However, Marcus has been dying to ask us a question. I could hear it in his voice, and
It's the Frame100 question of the week.
God, this could go anywhere.
All right, question of the week. What Lego theme would you guys bring back? A retired
Bring
theme, of
back.
course.
Easy.
Ooh,
Oh no.
ooh.
I get
Wait.
to go first.
God, oh
I'm
wait,
going
I
first.
thought this was a
I'm the
lot
oldest.
clearer cut than I originally thought, but now I'm second guessing
I'm-
myself because there's a couple.
I'm the
Oh, God.
oldest. I'm the oldest.
I'm the oldest.
I
All right, go ahead,
first.
Sam.
Adventures. Adventures.
I knew you were
want
gonna
that
say
back
that.
so
I knew
bad.
you were gonna say that.
That was my gut reaction.
That was not my gut
But I have
reaction.
a
I
second
want it.
choice.
I want it back so much. It's such a great
You
theme.
kind of
The
did.
builds were good.
Get it
The
back.
characters were cool. It's very iconic. Just after I bought those Johnny Thunder sets for this animation, like, just want them back so much. And I think it'd be refreshing because I think for me, Lego is getting very focused on IP stuff. I think.
Mhm.
Like Star Wars, DC, Marvel. It'd be nice to see them come back with one of their original themes.
He says after literally in 2020 alone, they've released 2 original IPs. Or not, well,
What? What's the
last year, last year we had Hidden Side, and then this
Backpedal,
year we
backpedal,
had
backpedal,
Monkey King.
backpedal.
Or Monkey Kid, sorry. So,
Anyway,
Well, like,
proven wrong.
something where it's not, because those are considered IPs, but like
They're
Lego's-
Lego-owned IPs.
owning them. Like,
they're
have
not
yeah,
licensed IPs.
they have their own shows and games, but like they're still somewhat an IP. There is definitely a niche to fill for themes
Technically,
that
Adventurers is an
you know,
IP as well.
ran the same 3-wave cycle.
but
Well,
like,
not the same level as like Monkey
Yeah, like
Kid
not
or
something where it was
Django.
related
Adventures
to a show
never had
or
a
whatever.
show.
Yeah. Like that.
Yeah.
It's still an IP, but it's like I know where you're coming
Yeah.
from. It's not like integrated with something else. It was just the theme.
but like it's
so.
Like
it would be nice to see Lego bring back some of its old themes where there's not a game, there's not a show related to it, just
Yeah,
a theme
I can vibe
that
with that.
people loved. Because I mean, if you think about it, how old was everybody when the adventure sets came out? When's the first like? Oh, sorry,
I was like
1996 was the very first.
I
wave.
didn't exist.
Oh, I wasn't even born then.
I didn't exist
I wasn't even
during
born.
any of them.
I wasn't born, yeah.
say and like I told you before, my cousin had them, all of them,
and he got rid of them.
and unfortunately, he emailed me and said, yeah, he got rid of all of them. So, but
Fortunately.
Could this have happened to me? I made my mistakes.
Got nowhere to
I don't know.
run.
I got nothing else to say because I've said it all before. Adventure sets is my choice. Now, somebody else can answer because I feel like theirs might be better than mine.
Chris.
Go
Do
ahead,
it,
Chris.
Not very substantially better. A part of me thought Bionicle.
Oh
but
God.
as you said before,
Oh,
Bionicle just would not work.
It's
today.
done and dusted.
It won't
It's
work.
dead.
Not even as a minifigure theme. Not even as just like a Lego theme at all.
Didn't they have minifigures?
No,
for
they
them
did for
at
Hero
one point?
Factory though.
They
Bionicle?
sort of did. It was like a weird hybrid minifigure, but still kind of Bionicle. It was really weird. Like it did not work. Hero Factory was probably the closest to like a Bionicle based
Yeah.
minifigure with the invasion from
Which-
below. Like that way was actually
Those
really
minifigs
cool.
were pretty dope. I quite enjoyed those. Yeah.
A theme I'd like to bring back, which is it was sort of a theme, but it started off as a game. I think Lego Island would be kind of cool.
Yes.
Yes,
Like
Yeah.
maybe just like a handful of sets, style it after Lego Island.
Yeah.
Like the first game. Like there's a lot of nostalgia there. But, kind of reimagine with modern pieces, throw in the minifigures that we were never able to get like actual copies of. That'd be fun. Like I would really like that.
Yeah. When
Actually, that does remind me, quick little
Oh.
tangent. There's a group of fans who are rebuilding the Lego Island game. They're calling it Project Island,
Ooh.
and they're hoping to make it like a sort of like fan-based sequel. I guess maybe the third one.
Ooh.
I guess technically the fourth. Extreme Stunts is considered the third one. But like that is the aesthetic they got right there, where they kind of take a modern take on the characters, but still very noticeable like Lego Island. I would love for Lego to do
Well,
that. So yeah, just want to quickly shout out Project Island. They're cool.
we did get that reference in the hidden side sets to Pepper.
Oh, we did. Yes.
The Shrimp Shack, right? That's the name of it. Shrimp Shack. Yeah.
Oh,
Correct.
It was the Shrimp Shack. Yeah. I couldn't remember if it was shrimp or crab or whatever.
Where's the reference?
It's the
shrimp,
minifigure. It's the shirt that he has. Yeah.
Oh,
with the
yeah.
cut sleeves.
That looks almost exactly like Pepper's shirt.
Yeah. That's again one of the many reasons I love Hidden Side. It's just all the references to everything. But
oh, hands down.
Yeah.
Yes.
But like this is a very like hard question for me to answer too, because like for me like I'm not very nostalgic for a lot of sets that were like from before my time, like Adventurers, Classic Space, even when like basically anything that was out before 2008. Like I'm not very nostalgic for it, with the exception of Lego Studios, and we had that whole discussion weeks ago about that. But
Sure did.
I know the one theme that was like really like influential to me for some reason was Atlantis, and I think that was like the first theme where we kind of started to see that like Lego IP things sort of take off, because you had the integration of Atlantis within like the Lego Club magazine comics, and then there was the movie that went along with it, which the movie was actually pretty dang cool for the time. There was a movie. I liked it. It was neat. But like that was the first time where we were seeing like these like sets that were like trying to have like a really big storyline behind it. And also that was like the year where the sets, they happened to release right before my birthday. And as I mentioned before, tying that into what we were talking about before, if I ever get sets that I'm not getting myself, it's always from birthdays or Christmas usually. So always usually. Yeah, that's how that works. But
always usually got it.
Yeah. But the sets, they all released I think on my birthday, but like they were put out on store shelves a couple days before. So that year for my birthday, I ended up getting, I think, almost the whole first wave, with the exception of 2 sets, because I ended up getting a duplicate. So I brought that duplicate back. I got a different set, and then the other one I just never ended up picking up, which I think was the biggest one. I believe it was the Portal. But like the sets were cool. Like it was. Like I love the aesthetic of it. I love like the idea behind it. The minifigures are really dope. I still have a bunch of like the really weird shark minifigs. So yeah.
I remember those things. Those were
they were so weird. Like and like the anglerfish. The anglerfish minifigure is like the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. But yeah, that's a theme that I would like to bring back. I guess an honorable mention would be Power Miners. I only own 2 of the Power Miners sets. One of which being...
Wait, isn't that the theme with like the
rock
little,
monsters?
like, rock
Yeah,
monsters?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, I remember those.
But like I only ever owned... I owned the set which was like the King rock monster figure, and then from the second wave, it was like the smallest one from the second wave.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just got reminded of the theme, and I can't remember if it was like a real theme or if it was like a sub theme. Is it the mission to Mars?
Yeah.
The one with the little
Mars
alien?
mission?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, Mars
2009,
mission.
yeah,
Dude.
right?
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, hang on. There were 2 of them. Mars mission was the one where they had the white and orange for the astronauts and the black and green for the aliens. So they were locked in a war.
Yes.
Life on Mars was the one where it had like the robot mechs and then the little Martian robots with the droid arms and whatnot.
Yeah.
That's what I was. That's the one I was thinking of, was the second one, the Life on Mars, because I remember I had a couple of those, and that was really good. Anyway,
Yeah,
didn't
that
mean to take
was,
up.
that was right around 2001.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
Didn't mean to take up two slots. I was sitting there when you started talking about Power Miners. I was like, that reminds me of a set that I had. But anyway, sorry. Another person. Didn't mean to step on anyone's toes. My bad.
My pinky toe hurts.
We all get over it.
Jared, are you still thinking about yours?
Oh yeah, no, I got it now. So I have two. One, I have an honorable mention of Aqua Raiders. 'Cause
Aqua Raiders.
I bought a lot of
Yes.
I bought a
That's
lot
the
of
one
those
I was
sets,
gonna mention.
and I love the minifigures because the torsos. I have so many of the torsos.
I actually did own one
so
of those.
that's an honorable mention. But the one I really want to see come back at some point in time, it's one that was before my time. But I just really love the sets and I really love the minifigures. It's Time Cruiser.
Time Cruisers.
Yes.
Ah!
Yes.
Oh yes.
Because the sets
Oh.
are so whack and so.
They're really,
I don't
they're
need to have-
really
I don't
jank.
I don't need to have skill.
Yeah.
I don't need to have
It's
skill
so
to build sets.
bizarre.
But I love it, and it's great. And the minifigures are hilarious because I love the faces on them.
Yeah. Oh man, that's. See, it's funny because like I know whenever I think about stuff, like I can only think about the stuff that was like from the era that like I was into it. So like pretty much 2000, 2007, 2008 and beyond. So it's like when people like remind me of like, you know, like Alpha Team and Rock Raiders and Time
Alpha Team's great. I
Cruisers
love
and
Alpha Team.
Hey,
all those
Agents.
older ones, like yeah, like that's just oh man, that just
Agents.
reminds me that there was
Agents
stuff
was
before
it.
then. Talking about all this,
See, Alpha Team would be another great
yeah,
one.
talking
Oh
about
my
this,
gosh.
I'm noticing it's really interesting. There's a lot of these sets where Lego they did like the same they did a theme where it was like the exact same genre as another thing that they ended up kind of doing again later on. Like, you know, you have Alpha Team, which was spy related stuff, and then they ended up doing Agents.
Yeah.
And Ultra Agents.
Ultra Agents as well. Oh god, see,
Yeah.
I forgot about that one too because just because of how quick
Yeah,
that one
it,
kind of.
it got worse as it got
Yeah.
older. Like,
Yeah.
it went from agents to ultra agents to like super ultra
Mhm.
agents or something like
Yeah.
that. And it just got worse every other theme.
Because even like, you know,
But the original
you've got
Agents
like Aqua Raiders and then
were
Atlantis and then
You had Aqua Zone.
Aqua
before
Zone.
that,
Oh
too.
god, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Wow.
Oh.
So like that's
yeah, that was back in the
Oh, the
90s. though.
nostalgia.
yeah, so that's something like I'm
Right.
wondering if we'll end up seeing Lego doing a little bit more of that in the future. I mean, I like that they're starting to finally like find a stride that where they're like doing, you know, their own like completely unique stuff. Like, you know, for its time, Ninjago was pretty wholly unique. Granted, there were ninja related sets at the time, but it wasn't anything that was
Oh,
like that in
man.
depth. But then like, you know, Hidden Side now is like
It's-
completely original for the most part.
Right. I remember when Agents was such a huge. It's weird.
Agents was
like, I remember
big,
when
yeah.
Agents was around, and it was big. It's weird now that I think about it. It kind of has like the same effect as Ninjago
Mhm.
does, minus the fact that it didn't have a TV show, which is a huge disappointment because it had such promise for a
It
TV
did.
show. And it may have like a movie or something.
I think it
Or-
was
or
just
something like- I don't know,
comics.
or like little
Well,
shorts,
I think it was just comics.
It
or
had
on
a
Lego.com
movie.
or something like that. But
It
it,
didn't
had
have
so
any
much
media.
potential.
It had two really cool commercials where they had like the CGI agents fighting off against the bad guys.
Ooh.
Those
Maybe
left
that's
a lot of impressions on people, but that's about as far as I
Hmm.
went.
See, I
Yeah,
think
I remember
that's
back in the
what I'm thinking
day there was a I don't remember what his name was. I think he's long gone. There was a Brickfilmer that did like an agent series, kind of like how Dana D. Tenaglia does his Ninjago series. Like, he's very serious about it, but he went on and on with like super agents and ultra agents, whatever. And now that I think about it, it kind of just like reminds me of both the themes are like very similar when it comes to audience reactions and how long people really enjoy them, and now they're completely dead, and it's kind of sad. And now I'm gonna cry. a little bit.
Don't cry, Jared. We'll cry with you. It's okay. Yeah.
So you bring up an interesting point because Adventurers, Lego Island, Alpha Team, and there are probably a couple others. Back in the day when Lego was really starting to get into the, getting their website like super kid friendly and inviting, they had these flash comics.
Mhm.
You saw two of them, the Adventurers ones, Jimmy and
Yes.
Sam,
Very
the
good.
Restless
Very
Mummy and the Lost Treasure of Ancient Greece. Well, they did some more. They did two for Alpha Team. Can't remember the names of them. They did two based off of the Lego Island Extreme Stunts theme. And honestly, there's like some really cool kind of story bits there. Like, they're short, but there's a lot of stuff there that if Galador hadn't scared Lego out of making a show all the way up to Ninjago, there
Look,
probably could have been some show material out of all three of those
Oh,
themes.
yeah.
And
Galador
many more
didn't-
themes.
Galador didn't just scare Lego; it scared every child out there.
Yes.
Well,
Let's be honest.
talking about like the comic stuff, it's really interesting because it just kind of shows like the sign of the times. Like, I remember I grew up with Lego Club magazine, which again was from the same aunt that I got that one the first set that I own, which I'm now realizing I need to thank her a lot more than I give her credit for. But like yeah, I grew up a lot with like the comics, so like I think I was there for the tail end of Bionicle, like the original run of Bionicle. And then like, you know, there was like I remember seeing stuff for like Agents and then Atlantis and some other themes here and there. But I remember they were doing this really cool thing with the run of the Atlantis comics where they were kind of like tying it in with a bunch of other themes. Like they even did that within some of the sets as well. So it was tying together with like Power Miners and I want Alien Conquest, which was another that's another really good theme that I would love for them to reboot. And Space Police. Oh, Space Police.
Yes,
Space Police.
dude.
That's like
Yeah.
Space Police. Oh no, that's what I should have said. Oh crap.
Me too, man.
But
Me too.
yeah, like it.
Again, if they bring back Space Police, they gotta bring back David.
Oh
Magano.
yes, they do.
That's my
Oh.
request.
That's what I remember too.
Yeah.
Good old David.
But
with
it's
that.
like they were doing this really cool thing where they were like, you know, kind of putting all those universes together within the comics. And then the comics pretty much just all but fizzled out, and then now we just have Ninjago and all the TV shows and, you know, all the technology integrated sets that we have now. It's like, I will say, like, I do kind of long for those older days where it was just, you know, reading comics, because I was a huge comic reader just back in the day, and then basically once I hit, like, my sophomore year, it was just, I didn't really read much from then on, but my comics phase just
I love
died.
how, like,
and I miss it.
with Space Police being dead, it's kind of like those molds and those minifigures still live on in tons and tons of brick films, whether it's like Star Wars or any futuristic brick film on YouTube. It's just awesome to see those molds still being used, and they're great molds. They're some of the best molds. Like
oh yeah, some of the best minifig, you know, designs ever. So.
Well, it's one of the things I think is just. Oh, go ahead, Marcus. This is your question.
Yeah, no, because on the topic of like molds and like great minifigures, for me, for like the set, or not the set, but the theme that I would like to bring back, or I wish they would bring back, is I think it's called Knight's Kingdom.
Knight's Kingdom.
Yes,
yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
No way. Knight's
with
Kingdom?
like the 4 like colored knights, like the blue, the purple, the red, and the green.
The really
Those
fat
guys?
swords.
Because I love. Yeah, the fast swords with like the handles that goes like sideways down.
Oh wow! What a trip down memory lane.
Yeah, that was my favorite. Like I've always wanted those sets, but I could never like ask my parents to get them for me because like we were kind of poor at the time and
Please,
all that.
Mom.
It's okay.
Oh, they were expensive. My parents wouldn't buy them either.
That was
Yeah,
that was
exactly.
before my
But
time.
I love like the molded helmets and stuff, and the like shields were really different.
This is.
What's crazy too is that they also had this really awesome comic series, this webcomic series on the site. Like, okay, Knight's Kingdom was the OG Ninjago. I'm sorry to steal a bit of your thunder here, Marcus, but the comic, like the storyline with all 4 of the knights, was Raskus, Santis, Danju, and Jacob.
Holy crap! How do you remember
Vladak.
that?
There we go. Dude, things just stick when you browse.
Yo, wait, Jacob is blue, and
yeah,
then
there we go.
Jay is blue. Oh,
They're just freaking out.
Yeah, like they all kind of ended up paralleling the ninja to some degree or another. I think if Knight's Kingdom had a TV show, it would have been Ninjago.
Knights.
Like they set up so much. It had this cool.
Bruh.
The boxes had like this awesome map on the back where it showed like all the sets for different locations. It was so freaking cool.
Bruh, season
Oh my
13.
gosh.
We're on 13 now, right? Like the Mountain of Madness. Now it's Ninjago Knight related stuff. Wow, coming full circle. Dang, that's
Wait, is it?
yeah,
Really?
yeah. It's like a knight. It's it's supposed to be like very D&D inspired. So like
I
all
miss,
the ninja
like,
have
ninja
like these
ninjas.
like knight inspired
I do
ninja
too.
outfits. So, wow, that's
I
crazy.
have
There
no
been
comment.
ever been any sets
The
out
sets,
yet?
I
Or, like,
believe.
rumored?
There have been quite
Yeah.
a few, and what's funny is each of the sets includes like a board game element, kind of like the old Orient Expedition,
Which relates to
sets.
Lego
And
games.
the
Oh my
spinners
God.
are now dice. There's so many of
Dude,
these.
this is just making me
I have-
realize how
I have-
badly I need to like refer to like a Lego retrospective sort of thing, because I realize like there's so many themes I'm like forgetting about, and like now just remembering and like forgetting kind of like where to place them in the timeline and stuff. Like, oh wow.
I got you. Nick on Planet Ripple. Is that his name?
Yes.
Great video.
Oh yeah. I
Past
have actually
things.
seen some of those in the past. I've seen those pop up in my sub box or my recommended.
They are wonderful to watch during
Yeah,
lunch.
I'll have to refer to those.
Shout out to our man Nick from Lego Rewind.
Yeah,
Certainly worth a watch.
there we go.
Sam, there is an Adventurers episode, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, no, I've
You'll
watched
love that
all
one.
of them. I've watched all of them. Don't worry.
I've already done it all.
Yeah. I see you there staring at the adventure stuff in your hands, and it's like,
Yeah, I know. Like
Dude,
for me,
man.
my retrospect point for like
So
all this
much
stuff was
good
like
stuff.
referring to like the Lego books, like the ones that DK would make, because they made all like the dictionaries for like all the Lego sets. So like a lot, like they would run down through like a bunch of the themes and a bunch of like the lines and just kind of like Lego's history and stuff. And man, it's just reminded me I've gotta dive back into that. It's crazy. Huh.
man.
Well,
What a great podcast so far.
I was gonna say we
It's quite fun.
went down some memory lane. We went down some memory lane. We went down
Couple-
memory lane.
We went down a couple of blocks, man.
Yeah, like we went from Wichita.
Oh, blocks!
You're so funny, Jared.
We
Two
went
ways,
from Wichita
man.
to Kansas City. For anybody that's from Kansas, you know how far
Which
that
is literally none
I'm
of us
sorry that you're
except
from Kansas.
you.
Let's just start from Kansas. We're not in Kansas
Oh my
anymore.
God.
Thank God.
All right, let's end the podcast there.
Sam's just 200% done with their stupid jokes.
I hate that joke so much.
I can imagine so.
Just
I-
wrap
how
it
do you-
up,
how do-
man.
How bad do you think it is for me when I say where I live? People are like, oh, that's where Hannah Montana. Shut up.
Oh no.
Shut
Hey.
the up.
You don't disrespect Hannah Montana.
You
like
don't,
that.
sir. I grew up on that
Oh.
crap,
I
man.
will.
I don't know why, but I
Before-
did.
before
I've
we-
never
before
seen
we
that
go,
show.
Before we go, I have one crazy fact that I learned. The guy that played Montana's brother, Jason something, I
Yeah.
think is his name.
He's like 35.
He is the same age. He's the same age as John Cena.
Thank
that in your
you.
head.
No.
I did not see that coming.
Yeah, he is.
Thank you.
Chris, send us off.
How am I supposed to top that? Thank you for listening to this revelation on this episode of the Frame100 podcast. If you have any thoughts on any of the topics we discussed today, please leave a comment or tag us on Twitter with hashtag Frame100podcast. We'd also like to thank Lots of Toast for the awesome theme music. Please go check out his channel and support his work. If you want to hear more from us, you can find us on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Until then, stay tuned for our next episode and keep brick filming.